Hey everyone, my name is Michael. I'm the president of Enhancify. We specialize in helping roofers and builders, general contractors grow their business through financing. But today I wanted to make this quick video to very quickly share information that I think some people in the community, could really use and benefit from. So we all know the pandemic has hit our community pretty hard, some worse than others. I've spoken with a lot of you in recent days and weeks. I've heard stories where you've had to let your entire team go, shut down your shop entirely, and some of you are worried about, when you're going to put food on the table, or how rather you're going to put food on the table for your family next month. So the reason I wanted to very quickly share this video is to give you guys important information and instructions on how to get immediate financial relief for your business. So what I'm talking about is the stimulus that the government has passed. A lot of you guys, if not most of you guys, qualify for immediate financial relief to help you guys keep your teams on, to help you guys keep the lights on. And a lot of it can be pretty confusing. So what I wanted to do is share some basic information that could be helpful. So as you guys know, the US passed a $2 trillion stimulus package. I think it was last week. It's called the CARES Act. So what that did was it basically created multiple programs to help small businesses that were hit the hardest. These programs are essentially a mix of grants, which you do not have to pay back, and very low interest loans and very attractive terms to businesses that need it and qualify for it. So there's a lot of sort of confusing information, and you hear different things in the news. So what I wanted to do is actually look at the source and pull that information out and make it as simple as possible for you guys. So a quick note here, we are not affiliated or endorsing any of these programs or any other third-party entity. We do not make any money off of these loans or programs. We're totally disconnected. I just wanted to share some helpful information. I recommend you guys always do your own research. Think for yourself. Don't just listen to anybody. Consult your accountant and make choices for yourself. So let's just jump in. From a high level, you guys have four options. Number one, there's a program called the Paycheck Protection Program, PPP for short. The second one, the other big program as part of the stimulus, is called the SBA Economic Injury Disaster Loan and Loan Advance Program. So this is by the Small Business Association directly, and this program is often shortened to EIDL. So PPP and EIDL, just keep that in mind, it'll help you. Now we also have some other options that are not directly incorporated in the stimulus package, but that you guys can use to get financial relief as well right now. The third one here is state and local relief programs. And the fourth one that surprisingly gets often overlooked are relief programs from your local bank and your bankers, your credit unions, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to run through the basics of all of these right now. Number one is the Paycheck Protection Program. So what this is a huge program, almost $350 billion, specifically designed to help keep American workers employed. That's why it's called the Paycheck or Payroll Protection Program. And what it does is it offers low interest loans specifically to help businesses cover the cost of the payroll. This is the largest program available, rather the largest budget available. So businesses can apply actually for up to $10 million. And it says it's determined by 8 weeks of prior average payroll plus an additional 25% of that amount. So obviously it depends on the size of your business, but you can apply for up to $10 million. Now, this program, here's the most important part. It says from the SBA.gov website, if you maintain your workforce, SBA will forgive the portion of the loan proceeds that are used to cover the first 8 weeks of payroll and certain other expenses, which means that you guys won't have to pay that part of the loan back. Diving in a little bit further here, loans will be fully forgiven when used for payroll costs, interest on mortgages, rent, and utilities. It says at least 75% of the forgiven amount must be used for payroll. So this can really help a lot of people out and keep your teams employed. By the way, this all comes from the Treasury's website. They also say no collateral or personal guarantees are required. Pardon me, and neither the government nor lenders will charge small businesses any fees, right? They just want to put capital into the hands of businesses who deserve them, and you guys fit that bill. Otherwise, the loan has a maturity date of 2 years and an interest rate of 0.5%. Okay, so again, maturity date of 2 years and an interest rate of 0.5%. This is not including that part of the loan that can be forgiven, the part that you use on payroll. Loan payments are also deferred for 6 months. That means you don't have to make your first payment on the loan is 6 months after you get it. And again, you can apply for up to $10 million with this PPP program. So what I've done here is I've included a couple of helpful links, and I'm going to include them wherever I post this video. But I'm going to show you what these look like. Okay, so here's an overview by the U.S. Treasury. This is on their website. You can find it yourselves if you want, but I've linked it for you. It's just a one-page overview. The second one is more in-depth. It's the Treasury's fact sheet. So it's 4 pages long. It's got answers to basic questions. When can you apply? Who can apply? What do you need to apply? What counts as payroll? So on and so forth. So guys, this is definitely a good one to take a look at. Number 4. Now this is part of the Small Business Administration programs, the Small Business Administration's website. And it goes into the depths of the program a little bit more here. So it's a more in-depth overview. I've linked that as well. And finally, I'm a very visual guy, and I found this great infographic. It's made by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and it basically drilled all of the high-level points of this specific program all in one easy-to-read place. Okay, so I'm going to link all of this for you so you see it. All right, let's continue here. So a couple of basic questions. How, when, and where do I apply for this PPP program? So I've linked the official application. In fact, I can show you what that looks like. The official application looks like this. It's 4 pages long. You can find it on the Treasury's website as well. You just print this out or complete part of it online and then print it out. Okay. Number 2, small businesses and small proprietorships can apply beginning April 3rd. Okay, so you want to get a move on. Next, independent contractors, we're talking about 1099s, and self-employed folks can apply beginning April 10th. And so where do you apply? Here's what the application says, right? You want to apply through any existing SBA lender, FDIC, which is essentially any bank or any large bank, federally insured credit union, and Farm Credit System institution that is participating. Here's a typo I made. In other words, here's how if you read the fine print, here's what's happening. The government gives the money to many local banks, right? If you call your local bank, your credit union, chances are they are participating in this program and you need to apply through them. So give those guys a call. You can also go to sba.gov and search for a list of SBA lenders who are definitely a part of the program. Next question, what does it mean for the loan to be forgiven? This means you do not, or rather you may not, need to pay back the loan. So again, do your own research. I am not associated with these programs. Enhancify is not associated with these programs. You should read the fine print, but after reading the fine print myself, my understanding is there are guidelines that must be followed, including a certain percentage of the loan that you must use to cover payroll, but you can have a large part of the loan, a substantial part of the loan forgiven. This will not be automatic. You will need to work with your lender and request loan forgiveness. What can I use these loans for? what the heck counts as payroll costs, right? So to break it down, payroll costs, salary, wages, commissions, or tips for your US based employees. Now, this is capped at $100,000 per employee on an annualized basis. Payroll costs also cover benefits, state and local taxes assessed on that compensation. Also, this applies and maps very similarly to independent contractors and 1099 sole proprietors and so on and so forth. Next, you can also use these loans for paying down interest on mortgage obligations for your business, rent for your business, and utilities for your business. Okay, guys, so moving on, we just covered the PPP program, which was the larger program. Now, the second program that's now available through the stimulus is called the Small Business Administration Economic Injury Disaster Loan and Loan Advance. So for context on this program is about $50 billion in relief loans. It's specified for businesses impacted by the pandemic. These are referred to as EIDLs. Keep your eye out for that. And you can receive an EIDL as well as support from the PPP. So you can apply for both. That's a very important point. You can apply for an EIDL of up to $2 million and use them for fixed debts, payroll, accounts payable, and other bills that can't be paid because of the disaster's impact. So for context, these are low interest loans that do not qualify for forgiveness. The interest rates are set at 3.75% for small businesses. Actually, also 2.75% for nonprofits, but that's not very relevant here. And the SBA is offering repayment plans of up to 30 years. Right? So these are great opportunities to get the funds that your business needs, to keep moving forward here. Now, here's the very interesting part about the EIDL program. Separate from an EIDL loan, you can also apply for an immediate $10,000 loan advance that does not have to be repaid. So it is a grant. You can receive $10,000 for your business that does not need to be repaid. According to the SBA website, funds will be made available within 3 days of a successful application. So guys, what's going on here? Obviously, the government wants to help the economy, keep pushing, keep working and growing. So they want to get the funds in the hands of businesses who need them quickly. So I messed up here a little bit on the presentation, but basically what it says here, I think I actually covered it on the next page. I'm doing all of this on the fly for you. Yep, here we go. So for full requirements and how to apply for this, what you want to do is go to this website. And I'm going to link this below as well. It's covid19relief.sba.gov. Okay, so we've covered the two big programs that are included in the stimulus. You've got the PPP versus the EIDL. So now, as a business owner, you might be asking which one is right for me and my business. So here is a very useful chart that was made by a company called Zenefits that I really like. So great job to the Zenefits team for putting this together. So it breaks down the differences between the two. Now we're just going to cover this very quickly so you see it for yourself. You can always pause this video and check out the screen for yourself as well. So originator, where does the money come from? For the economic injury disaster loans, the money comes from the SBA directly. And for the PPP program, it comes from a bank credit union or technology lender that is SBA approved. Okay, so it comes from your local lenders. Where can you apply for these loans? For the EIDLs, it's on the website. It is an online application. It takes about 2.5 hours, so it is involved, but you should definitely check it out. Where can you apply for the PPP? You can go to this website, but ultimately they're going to tell you to go through your direct lenders. Okay, so what businesses are eligible? For the economic injury disaster loan, we're looking at small businesses with 500 or fewer employees. For the PPP, you're looking at small businesses that have been in operation on February 15, 2020 with 500 or fewer employees, as well as individuals who are sole proprietorships or independent contractors. How much can you get from these loans? The one, the economic injury disaster loan is $2 million. Applicants can request up to $10,000 in advance, which will be distributed within 3 days. Applicants are not required to pay if they are denied a loan. Okay? Now, for the PPP program, you can get lesser of 2.5 times your average monthly payroll costs of the last 12 months. So think about your average monthly payroll cost of the last 12 months. Think about that number, calculate it, and on that monthly basis, multiply that at 2.5. There's a maximum of $10 million for this loan. Is there a loan forgiveness? So for the loan, no, but for the loan advance, yes. Again, you should do your own research. For the PPP program, yes, there is loan forgiveness, which means you do not have to pay back portions of this loan. Interest rates. For the EIDL, we're looking at 3.75% for interest. And for the PPP, it's capped at 4%. But right now, if you go to the Treasury's website, they will say that the interest rate starts at 0.5% for most businesses. They might need to raise it at some point. Okay, so again, do your own research. The terms for the EIDL, 30-year terms. For the PPP, 10-year terms. Grants, as I mentioned here, $10,000 grant right off the bat for qualifying businesses. And for the PPP, there are no grants. First loan payment due 1 year after you get the loan. And on the right-hand side, it's 6 months after you get the loan. Okay, what can the loan be used for? So here's a really big distinction. For the economic injury disaster loan, you have a lot more flexibility on how you can apply that money. You can apply it in a little bit more, you have more control over, executing that money against where your business needs it. For the PPP, it's a lot more specific. So we covered this in a couple of minutes ago, but we're talking primarily payroll and expenses around it. Collateral, the SBA places a lien against assets of the business. For the economic injury disaster loan, and for the PPP, no collateral is required. How long will the loan take? 2 to 3 weeks plus 5 days for funding. This is for the economic injury disaster loan. But again, the loan advance, applicants can request up to $10,000 in advance, which will be distributed within 3 days. Okay, and over here, how long will the loan take for the PPP? Unknown here. Okay, so which one is right for you? I don't know. You have to think about it and come to your own conclusions. But focus on the following. Keep this in mind here. Key points to consider. The PPP includes loan forgiveness on a portion of the loan as long as you spend it primarily on payroll. So effectively, that portion of the loan that is forgiven turns into a grant that you do not have to pay back. This is as close to free money as I've seen in my life. Now, the EIDL comes with a loan advance of up to $10,000, which is a grant that you do not have to pay back. You can apply for both programs. That's very important. However, keep in mind that these, while the government is trying to help out small businesses which drive America and keep people employed, they do have caps on the budget. And there's an unlimited amount of interest in this, as you can imagine. So you want to keep some things in mind. The PPP program is about 7 times larger, if my math is right, than the EIDL program. So the EIDL program is probably going to run out soon, or faster rather than the PPP. So if you're interested in applying, we recommend doing that sooner rather than later. All right, so we covered the PPP, the EIDL, and now number 3, which a lot of people don't think about. Your states and local, counties, cities, they also offer a lot of support to small businesses as well. People just don't really think about it. It's not advertised. So obviously the federal government, they've got the fatter wallet, but it also makes sense to spend some time looking at your state, your city, your county. A lot of them are offering amazing, capitalization offerings and programs such as grants, low interest or no interest loans, and so on and so forth. So here is a list that I found that has financial assistance programs by state. It's a fantastic list. You guys should check it out and do your own research. Okay, so this is updated on April 2nd. This is a good resource to bookmark. And here you can search by state and sometimes by city and even county. Okay, so I'll link that for you as well. All right, so moving on. Number 4. The number 4 area where you guys can seek some immediate financial relief for the business is actually directly at banks. Okay, so the way banks make money, and you guys know this, when you're able to do well, they're able to do well as well. Okay, so they don't really want you to do poorly. As a result, a lot of banks are offering relief programs. They'll help you out. They might have a waiver. They might be able to offer a no interest loan depending on your business and your relationship with the bank and other types of working capital. So you should definitely call your local bank and relationships and ask them, hey, what can you guys do for me in my business? How can you guys help me help the community? Okay, so to help you do that, here is a list that's put together by the American Bankers Association. It's a fantastic list. This is updated every day so far as well, and you guys can search. Okay, I'll leave this to you. I'm going to link this as well. All right, so finally, in terms of next steps, my recommendations are for you guys to do your own research, decide if any of these programs are right for your business, and make moves, right? This isn't going to last forever. The budgets for these programs are going to run out at some point. That's just the reality. So, take some action quickly. Remember, you can apply for multiple programs, and it's better to do that sooner rather than later. And if this was helpful for you, I'm glad. It was worth my time. My request is, if it was helpful for you and you think it can be helpful for someone else, please share it with a person or with your networks. Finally, I'm personally curious. The team here, my team at Enhancify, is very interested. Talk to us. What do you need right now? What are you guys struggling with? What's missing? We want to do our part. We'll be putting together, collecting, and sharing a lot more resources and guides that are actionable to help you guys come out of this, not just survive this, but actually grow and dominate through this process, right? So to that point, I want to ask you guys as a community and us as a community to remember a few things. This is a very difficult time. We are all going to get hit hard by this one way or another. That's just the reality. But other things are true at the same time, right? If you're watching this, you're probably a business owner. You're an entrepreneur. You're not a regular person, right? You're a different animal, okay? So when everyone else panics, you guys are the type of people to see new opportunities. When there are a lot of new constraints, you see that as an opportunity to get more creative, right? When life kicks you in the throat hard, right, you cannot stay down. It is not in your blood to stay down. It probably lights a fire in you guys to get up stronger and assert that, you know what, I'm going to win because of this. You cannot, a difficulty, adversity cannot hold you down, right? So remember that. Remember that we get to choose how we respond rather than react, right? That's not just some cliche saying. There's a lot of things right now that we just can't control. We can't control this virus. We can't control, the quarantine and the economic shutdown, but there is a whole set of things that you can control. So focus on those things and take action instead of, throwing your hands up and blaming someone else or pitying the situation. You always have a lot more control than you think. And the reality of the situation is, through this experience, someone will win. Someone in your space, in your direct market, is going to come out of this much better because they dug in their heels, they got creative, they didn't give up, they fought much harder, right? When someone pushes you, that's not the time to start, whimpering. That's the time to start throwing haymakers, right? So that could be you. You guys know this, but sometimes you all need a reminder. So we're all in this together. I ask, this is what I tell my team, right? I tell my team this is an opportunity for us to all get on the same side of the table and give more. So I want to see our community come together a little bit more and set more of an example for other people on what it means to be an entrepreneur, a business owner, a father or a mother or a team member, right? This is an opportunity to become a better version of ourselves here. So let's get to work. Thank you guys. If you need anything, you can always reach out.